Alright, so I decided to record at the right time. This is going to go just more as an overview of the Gamebridge working in OBS. The newest version, actually, and we've got R-Type for the Amiga playing here. I have a RetroPie set up. It's a Raspberry Pi Model 1B, 512 meg model, one of the later revisions though, so it has a lot of the bugs worked out. 1.1 gigahertz overclock, with some overclocks also applied to the GPU and CPU separately. Overvolting and even max current, which you can only do with the 1Bs, not the 1B pluses, and max current pushes out the max power to everything. I do have a 32 gig micro SD to SD in it, as well as I was just looking to see my controller. Is it this is the fire button? This is the fire button. Okay, and we're playing R-Type for the Amiga actually. But yeah, the Pi will do menus in 480i and gameplay in 240p. So one thing I do have to do is I have to compensate with using a blend deinterlacer, and I do adjust the capture. Now, that being said, I mentioned the Gamebridge. So I have the Gamebridge 1410, that's a model of RF and S-video and composite, as well as stereo audio input. This one you can use as DVR with the proprietary software it comes with, although the driver itself is able to be just installed on its own, and that's what I did. The laptop I'm using, it's a 12-year-old Toshiba Satellite P200, I think it's called. It's a Core 2 Duo with a Radeon 2400 HD mobility chipset, and it has 4 gigs of DDR2 RAM, a 500 gig Western Digital Blue hard drive, and Windows 7 32-bit. That last bit's important. You can't use Windows 7 64-bit with a Gamebridge. It just won't pick up on it. Back in the early mid 2000s, before everything started becoming more standardized with different companies really making the chipsets for a lot of the other companies who just did their own kind of designs, etc. You had a little bit more of a Wild West mentality to stuff, and that we had stuff like this Gamebridge where it had to be plugged in at a certain point, driver had to be ran at a certain point, but I only installed the driver. Now, when you're going to install any of that and you have the Gamebridge, make sure every single file in the install, so I'm going to play this through while I talk, have all the files set so in compatibility mode they run as Windows XP Service Packs 2 or 3. Shit. I think I have unlimited live, so that shouldn't be a thing. I'm just going to blow through this. This is for the Amiga, and I've played this a bit. I don't mind it. I might do the Master System as a comparison in a second. But have everything ran in compatibility mode as that XP Service Pack 2 or 3. Only install the drivers, do everything what it says, like plugging it in at a certain time, yada yada yada. Keep in mind, that USB port you have plugged it into will be the only USB port that will recognize that device, that Gamebridge. It will not work in any other USB port. Now, once that's done, I'll put the link in the comments for the program. You can use Virtual Dub instead to do your recording off of the Gamebridge directly. Say if you're just going to capture like a VCR record straight off and like run a deinterlacer, play around with like the levels when you're doing it, you might have something as a video that you can capture off of. And yes, video is actually pretty damn dandy. Or composite, or even RF. You can, like, say if you're just going to do capture off something as a direct RF thing, you can do that, even though like I just do that with my television and use the monitor output. If it's available to you on your TV, which is composite and stereo audio shit, you can avail of that, and you availing of that will be fine for, like I said, like anything like doing recordings off of VCRs or other kind of media. But now for games like this, like I'm doing gameplay and I'm using like I got a thrift store PS3i camera, and there's an OpenCL or something, open driver for it. I suck at this. I'm more talking. Actually, let's try something different. I'm just using UAE for all. Some people are like, oh, just use AmiBerry. Oh crap, this is the wrong mouse. One's for my computer there. Cougar. A totally different game in this day and age. Let's try Lemmings. Oh no, that's Flashback. I don't have the time for Flashback today. Just pick up and play games, really, that's a lot. But yeah, the Gamebridge works fine on OBS. Once you install the drivers, just plug and play. Now, there are certain little tricks you gotta do for certain things. First, I thought the audio was just not recognized by it, and it just gave it as a dummy value. You can get it working if it's not working. You have to go into the advanced audio properties and toggle the monitor setting for that audio input, and it just starts working. Now, there's a bit finicky on its bouncing, but that's fine. Composite video is fine. For this now, I've got the file running in 240p mode for when it plays games, 480i for the menus, and for when I'm using command line. Now, the audio, like I said, works fine. I was trying to capture off of different stuff before, and it just frustrated me a couple months ago. I said, I'll leave it. I'll come back to it, and I just start figuring things with a clearer head. But I have my microphone here, which has its own input, and I have that set to mono because it's stereo microphone, but it's a mono recording USB preamp, I guess you could say. And yeah, I can fool the exposure on my camera, the gamma, and everything on the capture device here, and sharpness and that. You know, I'm not going to get perfect results out of composite, but it's not bad. Now, 240p, the reason why I did it is because it displays on my CRT television, which I'm using for recording off of as well, perfectly. So I think we have to use the mouse in Amiga games. Or do I just hit spacebar for fire? Oh, left, right click, that's right too. Do I? Oh, that's probably function. Yes, that is. Unlimited time. And we'll just do unlimited time. And I think I just do another click or fire spacebar. Yeah, so you can definitely fool around and get things working quite fine. Look at that. Like, it actually, turned out quite decently. I played with the like I said, the gamma, the saturation, everything, so it's not too bleedy or anything like that. And the 240p mode really helps to avoid flicker, although there's a little bit of dotty kind of stuff, but I guess that's actually programmed in because it looks just like halftone on my area here. I'm not getting razor sharp pixels by any means. I'm blowing this all up to 720p, and the space at the bottom isn't my misframing. The Amiga is running it like this, so I have to cut off at the bottom of my screen here too. Other games fill out this completely. I believe I just used the mouse though for Lemmings. And yeah, so wow, that mouse is really up fast. Use the mouse button when ready. Oh, disk 2 in any drive, so we're gonna UAE for all. Because I think resume, mouse button when ready. Should we just go do it, or whichever mouse button? There we go. I do have this speed increased. I don't know if that really impacts anything, but we're gonna play one player. So I'm gonna probably show off the 480i at some point when I see the settings for that, but this is I'm gonna have different scenes in OBS set up for different things, like capturing off of this, for instance. Just dig. All right, and this is a very simple one. We're just gonna do one guy digging. Wow, the mouse speed is really turned up. We'll go into, is it here's for input, or that's the only problem with here. You know what, screw it, we're gonna just go to resume. But yeah, we'll just let this go. But I'm getting pretty decent for this. Is 240p capture over 480i deinterlaced and then blown up onto 720p. That's the size of my canvas. I have very old hardware here. The Gamebridge is from 2005. That's when they were minted, 1410 to the 1400s. And my laptop was made in 2008. Sorry, has a Vista Ready sticker on it. Got it maxed out on its specs, but nothing special. But I have the settings in OBS set for 720p for canvas and for output, and the CPU settings for everything set to super fast using MKV. H.264 just by its what the computer's actually capable of. Oh, this one. Only floaters can survive, which is basically it's just taking you through the ropes on this. And that's floaters. I have to. Oh, my mouse sensitivity is gonna kill me if I'm not careful. But yes, Miga seems like it's pretty decent on here. And I'm gonna try 480i and have separate settings for that, because the 240p is as decently clear as it is, because between sharpness settings and blend, it comes out not too bad for, you know, like I said, 720p. It's gonna look fuzzy, etc., etc. Just I would have to do a lot of different things that would tax the CPU to get it look any more smooth than what it is, but that's not bad. I'm not somebody who's gonna be like streaming like new stuff, but let's actually get out of that. So actually, we're gonna get out of Miga stuff completely, and we're gonna go around, and I'm gonna show you, you know, other stuff a bit more of. Oh, yeah, that's actually as a embarrassing. This is the one with audio. I'm gonna use the thumbstick because it's a lot easier. See how the edges handle up on this, and then see if they bleed too much. But yeah, so if I want to record something off my VCR, I'll use Virtual Dub, the version that's there. And I found an article actually that showed like you could do like good capture off it. Wow, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh. Oh yeah, looks really nice on my TV with this shader. Yeah, I'm not really that good at this, but there's a little bit of interlacing you see there, but it really doesn't affect the end product. Yeah, I got you. Ah, and he still got me. Oh well, but that's Atari. Looks quite fun on here. But yeah, OBS 25 and Windows 7 32-bit. I'm gonna try to stream at some point with this setup, but right now, as it stands, I can get audio and video out of this. I'll be like as a composite, and I can get. I was playing some ST games earlier actually as well. I want to see something that'll really show off. Ooh. Well, first we'll go NES. What was? Just because. No, go up. There we go. Why not? Good benchmark. But yeah, you'll see here it does more an actual full screen. The PAW is set to overscan with progressive television settings and TSC. Although when it switches to gameplay, it does 240p, and I have shaders put in for a bunch of different things. Well, not a bunch of different things, like 2 or 3 different shaders it uses. And yeah, this is what I get. Like I said, it's composite. Doesn't look the best at all, but on a CRT like this, there's like almost pretty much no flicker or anything. There's no dot crawl or anything, and I like how it looks. Where's it? I'm getting old and forgetting where I hid that thing. There we go. Now, I'm using like one of these like Logitech PlayStation style controllers, or PlayStation 2 style controllers, which is great for like a lot of stuff. But Super Mario NES looks great. And by virtue of that, actually, we're gonna go to PlayStation in a second. Super Nintendo will do this one. Gonna wing in with Dual. Show the color depth that this thing can still do, and I can adjust the hue, I can adjust the vibrance, you know, the saturation, etc. And so, for now, this thing's gonna do me. I'm not gonna say like go out and get a Gamebridge. It's 2008. No. But like if you got one in a shoebox, an old laptop, and your TV can do monitor out, well, that's what I basically did. And yeah, and then now that I got everything ironed out, I can actually have fun with this and like do stuff with it. So yeah, if you got a Gamebridge, it's not totally useless. If you just want to do like retro gaming, it's fine. As long as you got the laptop hardware to also help out with that, because like I said, I'm doing 720p video here, H264, which is not anything exactly grand, but it's, you know, I had a comparable model laptop that was Intel based, and, you know, but it had that Intel, not the HD series, but before it, GMA 950, I think it was. So that wasn't exactly like the most formidable GPU. But this one here actually does stuff like Outrun 2006 will play on this. I have a hook to the TV via S-Video, and I can just sit down, grab a controller, 640 by 480 on the TV, proper aspect ratio, and it's beautiful. It's great. And so not just have it on my gaming PC, I can play it in 1080p, I can play it on the CRT if I wanted to. And if you're hearing any roaring, I have a fan up to the window and there's wind as well, but it's keeping the house cool. And drop kick, drop punch, knee to the face, whatever. Super Nintendo looks quite fun on this thing. But as me and Dave were talking about, Dave weighed on a call today. He said nothing is ever dead to me. And it's true. Like if I can get it working, I'll get it working hook or by crook. Let's see what Game Boy looks like on this. Some of my stuff scraped, some of my stuff didn't. I might do a fresh install. Sometimes if you just have a little bit of an area issue with storage, and I might just have to eliminate one PlayStation game, which I'll show off in a minute. Oh yes, play this. I have this on the actual cartridge, so I'm legally showing this off. Actually, I guess I don't know how the hell that works. I don't have permission from the author. I'm not take money for this author, so I don't really freaking care. But I have a legit copy there in a Game Boy Color if anybody wants to verify it. So I guess I'm legally playing this game for myself. Whoa, I think my what's something's going on there. Alright, so I got this working now. I switched to MGBA. Gambade is actually a bit damn heavy. Yeah, I'm gonna main this guy because he's cheap. Oh wait. There we go. I just had to see if I had anything being cut off. Oh yeah, that's right too. If I duck and do that, he actually will only catch one. Hurt, I think his name is. I used to play the shit out of this game when I was a kid. I don't have much auto copy, but I managed to get a copy that was on for cheap at a local pop place. But that looks fine. A little bit cut off here and there from scaling, I think. I don't know. Maybe that was the font. I can't quite remember. I have to look at the actual store-bought copy and see. So I guess it means Game Boy Color. Well, wait. Game Boy Color. Oh yeah, that's right here. Let's find something and then. I think I just copied these from like what I have on the Game Boy Color folder of my PSP. So God knows how long I've had this ROM set for. Same thing now. We're gonna drop Gambade and just see if we can do Game Boy Color at yeah, there we go, MGBA. And this is the lovely thing about how a la carte RetroPie is. And yeah. I do these long form things. I'm not going to be doing as many. I'm going back to work soon, so my bottom will be much lower. But, actually, it looks decent. Alright, so let's see how this goes. Not bad. I don't own this for Game Boy Color, but I wouldn't mind. Like, it's one of those black cartridges where if you played it on the Game Boy original, yeah, these two you could get earlier anyway. The Ultimate Challenge, the excellent. Let's see what the enhanced version looks like. I can't remember if I've seen the enhanced version. Yes, that's not too bad. I gotta say, for what it is. Yeah, those black cartridges were like ones that could do like play on either, but had enhancements if played on Game Boy Color hardware. Sometimes with even other things like there are some that I believe if you instead used them with a Super Game Boy, would actually have Super Game Boy enhancement for Game Boy games. I don't know if there are any Game Boy Color games that had that. But yeah, we'll do PlayStation just to round it out. We're not going to make this video too long. Most any game for PlayStation is actually 240p, so I'm going to avoid showing cutscene heavy things because I move my knee. My knee is not feeling very well. Actually, we'll just do Castlevania Symphony of the Night so we can just show. Now, I'm using the non-core version of PCSX Rearmed, and you just map it to your controller. Luckily, what you do is, just so you can avoid having to use an actual keyboard for escape, you can go into like the interface options and map that to, like, I used R3, and it goes in. This, oh, there it is. I was going to say, and yeah, it looks almost like I'm filming it off or something because like a little bit of the blur might make its way through. I don't know, with the deinterlacing afterwards in post, but this on a Poly 1, Poly 1B, or Poly 0. Oh, I'm gonna use analog so I can use the D-pad. I find almost no issue. Like here and there I have memory load issues, but I think that's just more or less something running in the background competing for resources. But it's an older version of PCSX Rearmed. But yeah, like Ridge Racer plays fun on this. I usually don't have any big lag drops. Here and there I think I'm getting heat problems, but the room's hot. I might have to look into some cooling for the room. It's summertime. I even have my gaming PC in sleep mode, so it's not kicking out any heat. It is actually substantially cooler in this room today. Let's just jump ahead of this so I don't get sued for anything. Yeah, this totally works. Looks great on TV as well. Like, yeah, there's a little bit of things here and there I don't think quite match up right, because, you know, emulation is not a perfect. People can argue about it. Like, it's not a perfect thing, because like when you start getting the high level emulation, certain games need, you know, a more per game approach. It's like when Honor Vintage Gamer talked about in his video, like, yo, what about the virtual console games? Yeah, they were every one of them. Their emulator they used was purposely built and optimized for its ROM. This wasn't a standalone ROM like people said. Like, people taken other ROMs and did packet injection, so, you know, they could inject them into like the emulator for one of the virtual console games. But no, you don't get that. It doesn't work right.
Die, monster! You don't.
But this emulation is pretty decent.
It was not by
But
my
I'm like
hand
a
that
6-year-old
I once
Pi,
again
single
given
core.
flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute.
If my storage does
You
run low, I
steal
can just get
men's
my
souls
external
and
USB
make them your
and it does
slaves.
work with it. Isn't quite
Perhaps
the
same could be
fastest, but I
said of all
could probably get away with some stuff, although I would prefer
Your
an
words
externally
are as
powered
empty
one.
as your soul. Mankind
Oh, this is an
ill
SSD
needs a
kit.
savior such
They're
as
usually
you.
pretty easy on power,
What is a man?
because there's a lot less moving
A
parts.
miserable little pile of secrets. But
There it
enough
is.
talk. How about
Ha! Me too. I'm just really showing off, like, the capabilities. It's not anything heavy. I've had this capture device over 10 years. I didn't even use it for all, but then I was using it just for offering for transferring VHS DVDs, because not a lot of people actually even have VCRs anymore. And I've seen a few like really nice vintage ones with the big buttons, top-loading models from the early 80s on garbage days around here. during the spring. I just missed out, but I felt that I just didn't have the space for it. I do have my own space for it. See, all I gotta do now, boom, down and out. But now that I know I can actually use it for streaming, and all my webcams sucked. I know that you could probably come in here and play with the settings like I have with this, turn up the exposure, but I need to turn analog off. But at the same time, it's also a bit of a bother. But I was able to get a webcam working, etc., and I'm not too bad about this. Try and remember Famicom disk system if I got the right. This ROM will tell me if I got it working right. If not, I have to change ROMs. I did actually pause before earlier in recording, but FCEMU might be actually the one because I think Nestopia is a bit too heavy for it. I think I think I have the right one running because Nestopia, it crackles on a Pi 1, whereas FCEMU runs fine. I think there's less bells and whistles with it, so whatever. Wow. Add the setup I have for the 240p, etc. stuff on here usually sets everything to its proper aspect ratio. But what I use, the shaders in that, they're not for HDMI or anything like that. The setup, when you put this on your Pi, it won't output the games to an HDMI device. You would actually have to, use composite, and that's all I'm using. I'm just using the composite output. It looks, like I said, looks great on TV. It's just, come on, hurry up. Let everybody turn to stone. Now to kill some people. Now, is it? Yeah, there we go. Did I do it right? I think I did it right. Yeah. Yep. 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 Famicom disk system. Discs. I just want to try this for a minute. Yep. There we go. And these games are supposedly like cheaper. This is people's like, oh, the Famicom disk system would take it off here. It would have if they got the timing right, because the one thing that made them as popular games was bugger. Is that back then memory? Oh, can I change? Oh, yeah, long range. There we go. Sweet. Storage was not nearly the premium it was before they could make larger cartridges. Was that food? Why don't they get like burned up? Yeah, I could stay here probably all day and play this game. Once you get the hang of it, this is one of those you can play these games that you don't need to have, besides the passing knowledge of Japanese, any real knowledge. And except for getting used to certain game mechanics. Here we go. Anyways, that's Famicom disk system. I know, I'm just kind of showing off now, and there's about a half an hour, and I got stuff to do, but I keep procrastinating because I would show the gamut of light stuff like Atari all the way to like PlayStation and Super Nintendo and SG-1000. It's gonna sound like blasphemy. I prefer Hero on this versus the Atari. Even though, yeah, there are great Atari games. There are great 2600 games that do, really show the capabilities. Oh, Master System. Actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna also show not Master System. I need the Castlevania game, Bloodlines. Now, the Genesis or Mega Drive stock composites usually pretty underwhelming and it blurs a lot of stuff and it's pretty bad. There's a lot of artifacting and composite artifacting, not like hardware level, but like just stuff. It actually is a lot better. It looks nice on the TV as well, but it actually is a lot better outputting from a Pi, because you'll see in a minute. And one thing that was pointed out was the life bar that you would use, as well as some of the scrolling. Now you'll see. So we'll get through this. Go start. Use John Morris just because. Whip. Roman, yeah. But here's a real test of it. Look at that. There's a little bit of jitter just because like the deinterlace, but other than that, yeah. And yeah, I'm actually getting like pretty decent quality capture. Like for what it is, the TV, it looks even better because it's 240p. The artifacting isn't really there like 480i would with like some emulation. Like I'm emulating, like people's like, oh, 240p, but like I'm emulating. Usually, most any emulator on the Pi when you're using it connects via 480i. Default. If you're using composite video, you're usually going to do 480i or 576i with the composite out, depending on if you're in DC or PAL. Now there's a progressive setting you can use that does do 240p, but then on top of it, if you have these shaders, it does proper 240p nearest vertical integer. Yeah, with that being said, can I go through or no? It's just I gotta go down here. It really does look clean for what it is, still composite video, but it actually looks more accurate, not this jittery 480i with a lot of dot crawl, because it's 480i trying to show 240p video signal and just failing horribly at it. Arsehole. That's bait. Don't go to it. Oh, bitch. No, that's different. Yeah, the capture on here is good when the deinterlacer plays along, and sometimes you gotta reboot fresh because after a while, for some reason, the display drivers just bogged down on my system. Oh no, that's my money. No, I want the one I have. Thank you. Die, monster. But yeah, ew, it's gonna like explode or something. Oh, you gotta go and like finish it off. Oh, cool. Anyway, so Genesis looks quite fine. But yeah, my Gamebridge is not too bad for OBS. Now I've previous stuff some people have seen it used virtual dub, and I'll put that in the description. But yeah, it's 107 32-bit, and even though they say they don't support it anymore, and Microsoft's going to be pushing the Edge browser, the Chromium-based one, to it because it is lightweight. I've been using the beta; it's amazing, and I'll probably be using that browser for my stuff for streaming, for chat, etc. But we're going to try this for streaming at some point. For now, this is it for my recording, I'd say, and I'm probably going to try streaming tomorrow. I have one more day before I have to go to work. We'll see how that goes. See you later.